Hey everyone, I'm here to show you how to set melee-like controls in Rivals 2. First I'm going to just show you how to do everything if you just want to know how to have melee controls, and then I'm going to go through all the options and explain what I just actually changed. So let's get through that real quick. First I'm going to hit X to bring up the name screen and just make a new tag. We're going to call it melee for melee. There you go. Then we're going to hit Y, going to go to controls, bindings. Only thing you need to change in here, see jump is only Y. We're going to change that to Y and X. Press start to confirm. Going to go back. Going to turn on tap jump, tap strong, tap wall jump. Rumble you can keep on or off if you want. Right 6 strong, that's right. Air parry, doesn't matter. Air grab, we're going to want to hit that. Change that to attack. D-pad movement doesn't matter. And yeah, if that's all you care about, that's what you got to do. But I know some people are maybe want to know what just happened, so I'm gonna go through that real quick. Firstly, before we even get to any of that, for connecting a GameCube controller to your PC, you're gonna want to use an adapter, of course. If you have an adapter that works with Slippy, great, it's perfect. Should go, no issues there. If you haven't set up your adapter for Slippy, you're going to want to set up Zadig. I'll link some resources below for how you can do that. The key thing though is that if you have like a Mayflash adapter or similar kind of adapter, you're going to want to use it on Wii U mode instead of PC mode, because Rivals 2 is able to natively detect it, so you'll have better controls. You'll see here we have like the Y and the X. The graphics are matching the actual controls, so that's, you'll know if that's there that you have the correct control settings. Now going back here, bindings, obviously jump, X and Y, that makes sense. You might be wondering, why was X set to strong? What is strong? What is that? Well, strong is basically smash attack, so you have a dedicated smash attack button. They don't call it smash attack because Nintendo owns the copyright, but that's what that is. The reason you have a dedicated strong button is because normally the way Rivals 2 works is you can only do regular attacks and tilt attacks with A. You can't do smash attacks by flicking the stick and holding. So they give you a dedicated strong button, and this allows you to be more precise with your controls. It makes certain techniques like Dacus easier to perform because you can kind of roll your hand from A to X, so that's why that's there. But with one of the settings we had, tap strong, we reverted it to the smash style where you can flick the stick and hold the button to do a smash attack. So we don't need the smash button, or the strong button, excuse me, anymore. You may also have noticed that there's no parry button, parry macro. That's because in Rivals 2, similar to how you can grab by pressing shield plus attack, you can grab by pressing, or you can parry, excuse me, by pressing shield plus special. So here, if you wanna activate a parry in game, just press shield and B, and yeah, you'll do a parry. So you don't need a parry macro. There's also the short hop and full hop options. So basically, if you map, let's say you map, Y to short hop and then X to full hop. Every time I press Y, I'm always gonna get a short hop no matter what. Every time I press X, I'm always gonna get a full hop no matter what. So that can be good. Maybe you have one button that's jump and then one button that's short hop. You can customize to your preference. Can be useful for getting things to be more consistent. There's also a walk modifier. This is more for box style controllers or keyboard. Basically, the way it works is you can map, let's say you map X, and then when I'm holding X, I'll only walk, and then if I don't press X, I'll always run. I don't think it's really that useful if you're playing on a GameCube controller, but you could, for whatever reason, if you want, you could set that. Now back to here, tap jump, that's pretty self-explanatory. You press up, you jump. Tap strong, went over that. Tap wall jump, may be a little confusing if you don't know what it means, but basically, the way Rivals 2 normally works is that wall jumps are kind of like, Mario, where you hold into the wall and you press jump. But that's not how Melee works, right? Melee has kind of like a more Super Metroid style wall jump where you flick the stick away from the wall to wall jump. So tap wall jump restores it to the Melee style. So that's how that works. Rumble is rumble. You can turn it on or off if you want. It doesn't really matter. Right stick strong. So that's like your C stick is going to do smash attacks. That's that like that by default. But there are some other options that you might like to know about. So obviously attack, that's like tilt attacks. It's basically tilt stick in like Ultimate or like PM if you ever played those games. Special, also similar to those games, you can map it to do like C up does up special, C down does down special, that kind of stuff. You can do some cool wave bounce stuff I've seen, but I think losing C stick aerials is a pretty big loss, so I wouldn't really recommend it. Now, you may have also seen these two options, adaptive and reverse, and you're like, what is this? Is this some AI stick settings? No. Basically, these kind of exist to help out Raster, and specifically to help people who maybe have him as a main with a secondary or like have him as a secondary. So the way adaptive works is it does smash attacks on the ground and tilt attacks in the air. And you might be thinking, okay, well, why does that matter? Well, Raster's special gimmick is that he can do smash attacks in the air. So when normally you try to do a C-stick aerial with the strong bound, you're gonna get his aerial smash attacks, and so that can be annoying. So the way adaptive works is, for every other character, it's just gonna be business as usual, right? Strong attacks on the ground and then tilt aerials in the air. And then for Raster, since he doesn't have any strong attacks on the ground, it's going to do his tilt attacks. And then in the air, since it's on tilt attack mode, it'll do his regular aerials. And so that's where you might also want to have a dedicated strong attack button to help you do those, right? Because you still want to get KOs and stuff. And then reverse is like the reverse of that. So it does tilt attacks on the ground and strong attacks in the air. So it's probably a pretty niche use case for someone. It basically exists for someone who likes that all of their characters have tilt attacks on the ground, but also wants to use Raster's smash attacks with the C stick in the air. So probably no one is going to use this. I think most people will actually like to have the adaptive setting. But yeah, that's that. Now we have air parry and air grab. So these are not like Guilty Gear options. They're not crazy or scary. Basically, what these are asking is like, what do you want the parry button to do or the grab button to do when you're in the air? So as you can see here, air grab, I set it to do attack because that's how it works in Melee, right? For most characters, if you hit Z in the air, it basically is just another attack button. But by default, it's actually set to neutral air, which is a pretty good setting because it allows you to do full drift neutral airs, right? Because it won't do any other input. It'll basically ignore your left stick and only do neutral air. Same with neutral special. That's what the default is for air parry. That can be really good for doing like a lot of B reversing to like switch up your momentum and that kind of stuff. So yeah, those are great options. But you can also set them to whatever you want. So like, let's say you set L to parry and you still want to use that to wave dash, you can set it to air dodge. So that can be, good. Or like, let's say you like having X and Y as jump, but you still want a strong button for Raster. You could set air grab, so Z, to be strong attacks. So you can use the C stick and your A button for normal attacks, and then when you want to do a strong attack to KO, you can do that. Then over here we have D-pad movement. D-pad movement is what it sounds like. Lets you just basically run around with the D-pad instead of the left stick. Although you can actually use both, but yeah, it's kind of a weird setting. May also be for boxes, I'm not sure. But yeah. And then last we have auto walk. This is basically, it forces your character to walk And then if you go back to the binding setting, if you have a walk modifier, now instead that'll make it so you always run. So that's another, I think, box keyboard setting. Yeah, and then stick sensitivities, they are what they sound like. They let you map the dead zone and sensitivity. They feel pretty good to me. They feel pretty close to melee, so I don't really mess with them, but you can mess around if that's your preference. And yeah, that's basically all the controls. We also have a couple options here, so we can turn on random skins. Basically means when you pick random, do you want it to cycle through the skins, or do you only want to have like the default skin? Respawn platform, you can actually pick which respawn platform you have, so this is good, you know, when they have the item shop and stuff, you can pick through these. Right now we only have the defaults. Same with death effects, basically like the explosion you have when you get KO'd. You can pick which style of explosion you have, because each character has its own look for the explosion. And yeah, you can reset everything to default if you fuck something up. But yeah, that's that. That's how you get melee style controls in Rivals 2. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Subscribe for more tutorials, and I'll see you next time.